What is going on, everybody? It is LostInPlace, and welcome to another edition of Storytime with Lost. This specific edition is going to be based around the dumbest things I have ever done. And I have done a lot of dumb stuff, oh my god I have. But for this video specifically, I'm referring to extreme sports. The dumbest things I've ever done while trying different extreme sports. Now first, let me just touch on the gameplay really quick, because I am really proud of this gameplay you're looking at. This was recorded from a live stream the other night, and I busted out the Remington on Nuketown and started the game off 33-0. Ended up finishing like 65-18 or some craziness. Yeah, just an awesome gameplay, fun to watch, so enjoy that. Now into the stories. I'm going to start with the most recent one first, and I've got 4 little stories for you, and they're very dumb. Okay. So, most recently, we're going to talk about my attempt to drop into a 12-foot vert ramp. A skateboard vert ramp. Yes. I skateboard. I am not very good at it. I mean, you know, I'm better than a lot of people. That's for sure, you know. I can't really do tricks. I'm more of a longboarder. I like to cruise, and for a while there, I was actually the manager of a skate park inside of a mall. And, well, that gave me unlimited access to a gigantic skate park, and there were a lot of days when it was really slow, had nothing to do, so I'd hop on my longboard and cruise around the park. And the vert ramps, they're the big C-shaped ones. They look like, it's basically a big pipe, but cut in half, hence the title Half Pipe. And yeah, I was messing around with some of those. We had a mini and we had a full-size vert ramp, and the mini ramp was about, what was it, about 5 foot of a drop-in. So from the very top where you stand and look down, it was a 5 foot, almost straight down drop, and then it bottoms out. Well, that took a little nerve to get up the guts to drop in. You know, I'd hop on it and ride back and forth, but to stand on top and look down and to take your skateboard and just put all your weight on it and drop right in on a straight vertical down, oh man, that was tough. But I did it, and you know, I had a couple wipeouts the first couple tries, but I got it, you know. And this is the mini vert ramp I'm talking about. Then I started to get cocky, you know. I was able to do it pretty much with ease, and I decided to take it to the full-size vert ramp. This is a 12-foot straight down drop. I mean, this is what the pros ride. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. And I did have my protection on, and by that I'm not referring to a condom. I had a helmet on. And, you know, pretty much what you think I'm going to say happened is exactly what happened. I put all my weight on the skateboard and went straight down, and when the bottom hit and it kind of leveled out, I didn't, and I went my whole front of my body went boom! Just flat on the ramp, and it was excruciating pain. Didn't break anything, didn't sprain anything, no concussions or anything, but I did have the wind knocked out of me for a good 5 minutes, and oh my god, the humiliation, because a lot of my friends were watching me do this. Of course, you know, I hyped it up that I could do it, and I failed. And I never tried that again. You know, I will ride a skateboard in any kind of skate park, but you ain't gonna see me dropping it on any vert ramps anytime soon, that is for sure. Alright, so the next story revolves around surfing. I used to surf a whole lot. I don't surf as much as I used to, but you know, that is my favorite extreme sport. I grew up surfing. I lived in Florida for a couple years, and I based my life almost around surfing. I lived in Cocoa Beach, you know, it was a block away from the beach, and I'd wake up, I'd check the waves. That was a daily routine. My routine was built around surfing. I love to surf. I just really do. But when I was first getting good at it, when I started surfing in New Jersey, and the waves weren't really big here. You know, if you guys know anything about the East Coast, the waves aren't super big. But if you go south down to Florida, they get a lot bigger. And myself and a buddy went on a vacation, and we hit Fort Pierce, Florida. And it just happened to be a hurricane off the coast. Now, when you stand on the beach and look out at the waves, they look big. But when you're out in the water, laying flat on a board, and the waves are towering over you, you see how much bigger they are than they actually look from standing on the beach. But you know what? What was I, in my early 20s? I didn't give a shit. This is a hurricane, giant waves, 9 to 10 foot high. We're going to give it a go. So we get out there. I don't know how I paddled through these, because you got to paddle out past the waves. That's half the battle right there. So we made it out there, and there's tons of people just sitting there, and we were definitely out of our element, because these waves were twice as big as anything I'd ever ridden before in my life. But you know what? We're out there. I'm going to go for it. So I'm looking behind. I see this giant wave coming. I start paddling. I feel this power. This water ocean is so powerful. You have no idea. And I feel it just suck me up. I start rising in the air. And I pop up on my board. And I'm standing on my board. And I'm on top of the wave. And I'm looking in. And then I went over the falls. Now, anybody who surfed before, you know what it means to go over the falls. And that basically means you didn't get in front of the wave. You're supposed to get in front of the wave and ride the front of the wave. I somehow managed to get on top of the wave, and it peaked, and I just basically fell off the falls, dropped straight down about 10 feet, hit the water, and this powerful wave crashes on top of me, and it's like a washing machine effect. You cannot control your body. You're spinning, you're tossing, you're turning, you're underwater. You have no idea which way is up, man. It was so freaking scary. The way the water just takes your body, tosses you like a rag doll. I was held underwater for what felt like an eternity. Somehow I managed to finally get up, catch my breath, and drag my ass into the shore, swallowed so much seawater, I puked it all up afterwards. Oh god, I didn't get any physical injury from that, but the mental anguish of being held underwater like that, it is scary, because you think you're gonna drown. So that was my over the falls experience there in a hurricane swell. Next up, what was the next one I was gonna talk about? Okay, so this is where we're gonna get to the fun stuff. This was, oh boy, when I was younger, I was really into rollerblading. I was really into rollerblading, and so were my friends, and rollerblading was hot shit, man. You weren't cool if you weren't rollerblading, right? So we'd slap our blades on, and we'd fucking go out, we'd go behind the schools and grind on cars that were out by the auto shop, the auto body place. We would just find anything and anything we could and skate on it, ride our blades on it. Well, I don't know how this came about, but we were driving out in... hard to explain if you haven't been there. Anyway, long story short, we were in a very desolate part of New Jersey where there was no traffic. It was out in the Pine Barrens. There's nothing but woods on either side, but we were on a highway, and it was the middle of the night, pitch black, no cars around, and this very steep hill. And for whatever reason, we decided we wanted to drive to the top of it, slap on our rollerblades, and ride down the hill at night. At night. And that's what we did. We slapped on our rollerblades, we go down this hill, and I gotta tell you, this hill was more than a 45-degree angle, and if you're doing something like this, you gotta realize that you start out fast, but you only continue to build speed as you go. So, we're barreling down this hill with no end in sight, and it's getting faster and faster as we're going. And before you know it, my wheels are just starting to shake. My whole knees, my legs were starting to shake. And there's nothing, you're just trying to buckle down, you know, you get down low and hold it. You gotta hold it like your life depends on it, because you are not stopping until this thing levels out. Or until you hit a branch, like I did. I hit this fucking branch, oh my god, in the middle of the road, and did a Superman fly across the freaking concrete, and slid. I must have been going 30 miles an hour. I don't know. Because I blacked out. I hit the concrete and it was darkness. I come to, and I had road rash all over the front of my body, my face. I chipped a tooth. I got a concussion, and yeah, I was banged up. So that was horrible. And the last story. The last bit of this story was the dumbest thing I've ever done in extreme sports. And why is it so dumb? Well, because it's a sport that I invented. Well, maybe people have done it before me. I don't know. We're going to call it car surfing. I was 17 years old. I just got my driver's license. I used to have a Ford Probe with a sunroof. And me and my buddy were driving around the back of his neighborhood, and we decide we're going to go and stand on top of the cars while the other one is driving it. I don't know why, but it seemed like the cool thing to do. And my buddy Gary, he was always the buddy that if I go and do stuff with, it was always dumb stuff. We were always encouraging each other to do stupid stuff. So he gets up on top, and I'm driving. I'm doing like 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour. He's doing it like a champ, like it's nothing, man. Like, all right, cool. This looks easy. This looks easy. So he gets in it, and I get on top, and he freaking floors it. I don't know how fast he went, but he was going way faster than 20 miles per hour. And I'm holding on for my dear life. At first, I'm standing, but then I'm like freaking out. So then I kind of crouch down, and I'm holding on to the opening in the sunroof and just praying for my life not to end. And I'll never forgive Gary for this, but you know what he did? You know what he did? God knows why. He slams on the brakes. He slams on the brakes, and I fly through the air, hit the fucking pavement, roll, tumble, and just bashed my ass to bits. Oh my god, did I bang myself up so bad. Lumps, cuts, bruises, scratches everywhere. But no broken bones. Again, no broken bones. I guess I'm avoiding that. But yeah, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Car surfing, do not recommend it. Rollerblading down a giant hill in the middle of the night, do not recommend it. Now, the other ones, surfing in a hurricane, only if you're brave, and dropping in on a vert ramp, only if you know what you're doing. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stupidest things I've ever done, the Extreme Sports Edition. I am Lost in Place, and I'm out of here.